Shri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Agajanana Padmarkam Gajananam Aharnisham Anekadam Tam Bhaktanam Ekadantam Upasmahe. Welcome to all for this session on Ganesha Purana to chapter 62. In fact, we all have a wonderful doubts related to what is the connection between moon and the Gajanana. In the previous chapter, we heard about the story of Sankashta Chaturthi. Why Sankashta Chaturthi Vrata is to be performed on a particular Tuesday, that too especially on a particular fourth day of the Krishnapaksha. And if that fourth day of the Krishnapaksha, if it falls on a Tuesday, it is called as Angaraka Chaturthi and it is considered much more auspicious. But all this is fine. We have heard the story of that in the previous chapter, that it is because Mangala or the Bhauma, son of the earth, had got the appearance of Gajanana on a Chaturthi day. Chaturthi day became more auspicious, whether it is Shukla Paksha Chaturthi or Krishna Paksha Chaturthi. And Krishnapaksha Chaturthi later is considered for performing the Sankashta Chaturthi Vrata. And on that day, especially on that day, it is only after the rise of the moon that one is supposed to take the food. So, what is the connection of the moon and the Gajanana? Let's now hear to a story what Brahma is telling. O king, once I went to Kailasa, Brahma is telling this story. Went to Kailasa, that is Shiva's home, and when I entered his assembly hall, I saw that Narada had arrived too. He gave Shiva one new fruit, but Ganapa, though still a young boy, asked Shiva for that fruit. Shiva then asked me, this basically he asked Brahma, who the fruit should be given to, and I replied, better it is always been given to an younger boy, because there were two boys there. One was the Kumaraswamy or Skanda, another was Ganesha. Incidentally, at that time, Ganesha was a elder one and Kumaraswamy was a younger boy. So Brahma replied to Shiva saying that it is better you give it to a young boy. So Shiva gave it to him, but then Ganesha became very angry because of Brahma's recommendation. He could not able to get the fruit. Then I means Brahma, having returned home, endeavored to create. However, Vignakara created an obstacle to that was utterly extraordinary because because of Brahma's recommendation, Shiva gave that fruit to Skanda. Ganesha could not able to get the fruit, so Ganesha was angry and he wanted to trouble. He wanted to play with Brahma, so he created the trouble to Brahma, and Brahma could not able to do any creation. Assuming a ferocious appearance, Ganesha terrorized Brahma. However, while I was reeling about, the moon saw him so fearsome and laughed at the supreme Viradanana and his host. Ganesha took a very weird form in order to scare Brahma. But incidentally, at that time, seeing that scary, wicked form of Gajanana, there was the Chandra, the moon in the sky. He laughed at Viradanana, he laughed at Gajanana. Utterly enraged, Gajanana then cursed the moon, saying that it is my injunction that you must not be seen in the triple world. Whenever someone sees you, he will become possessed of great evil. Incidentally, being a child at that time, Gajanana simply tried to terrorize Brahma, not with any bad intention, just to have a play with him. But incidentally, in the meantime, Moon God, that is the Chandra, he came there and he just laughed at the shape of Gajanana. And with that, the Gajanana became angry and he cursed Chandra for because he was already angry. So he cursed Chandra, saying that if anyone see you, then they will going to possess a great evil. After he had cursed him in this way, the god left for his own home, accompanied by his followers. But wretched and tarnished, the moon dissolved into a pool of anxiety and wonder. Did I inadvertently commit some childish mischief against the ultimate cause of the universe, who possesses qualities such as smallness, etc.? Because Dviradhanana, Gajanana is having all kind of siddhis and he is the cause of the universe. He is the supreme deity, and by laughing at him, Chandra had performed with the biggest sin, that I have become invisible to everyone. I became colorless and dirty, praiseworthy and beautiful in shape. I please the gods with my digits. How could this happen to me? Because prior to that, Chandra was so beautiful, so wonderful that everybody liked him. And now the same Chandra became colorless and dirty so that nobody could able to look at him. At this point, the gods heard the violent curse placed on the moon, and led by Agni and Indra, they went to where Gajanana was, and there the multitudes of gods addressed the ultimate cause of obstacles. The gods eulogized Gajanana. You, God of gods, you are praised by the worlds. O Lord, you protect, you destroy, and you create at your will, though without qualities. He is Gunatita, he is above all the qualities. You create them, overlord of the qualities. That means he creates Chaturmukha Brahma, who will later going to create the world. Gods continued, you came for refuge. Protect us, O Lord. Has not the entire universe fallen into distress through fear of your curse on the offending moon? Therefore, O Lord of the universe, we, the universe and the moon, have come for refuge. O Lord of earth, do something. O Lord, now that the moon cannot be seen, everything has fallen into danger. You must extend your favor to the moon and to the triple world. Moon has its own place. In fact, suddenly, if the moon disappears, many things scientifically on the earth, many things will go haywire. That is known scientifically. So here they are narrating the same thing. You must extend your favor to the moon and to the triple world. The three Vedas did not know your majestic appearance, so who possibly could eulogize you? Even so, everyone does eulogize you. We have now achieved our task by seeing and speaking to you. We have come to you for refuge, imperishable God, who removes distress for his supplicants. Dhiradhanana gives accomplishment in the law, sensuosity, power, and liberation, and on hearing their speech, Gajanana spoke to those gods, very pleased as he was with their eulogies. Vikata, another name of Gajanana, he told, I am pleased with your eulogy, O gods. Choose something greatly cherished in the three worlds that you cannot obtain, and I will give it to you. Then the gods asked him, we all that we want is your favor to moon, because when he is favored, all of us will be favored as well. Then Ganesha told them, the moon must remain invisible for 1 year, half of that, or half of that. Ask for another boon, gods, because anyway he had already cursed the moon. So he had cursed the moon so that he became invisible for the whole year. Okay, now I will reduce it to half the year. Is that fine? No. Then in that case, I will reduce it to further half. so that he will become invisible for 3 months in a year? Then they all bowed prostrate before Dviradhanana. However, he, Vikata, spoke emotionally to the bowing gods. Look, why were you so keen to make this trifling speech to me? I cannot abandon those who come for refuge. Mount Meru might shake, the sun might fall, the fire might go cold, or the ocean might go beyond its border. But my word will never be false, because the Gajanana has already spoke, he has already outspoken, he had given away his curse. Now that he cannot make it false. So when I'm talking, you must listen to my speech, O excellent gods. Whoever knowingly or unknowingly is cursed as a result of looking at the moon on the fourth day of the bright fortnight will share his deep distress. So finally, he reduced it to 1 day in a month, which happens to be the most auspicious day for Gajanana. That is the Chaturthi day. Okay, then only on that day, if someone see the moon, they will going to be having all kind of problems. After they had heard this speech, all the gods rejoiced, and having bowed, they said, Om, and cast down a shower of flowers on Gajanana. Having taken his leave, in fact, in the original story, it goes as if that as they went on doing the bargaining with Gajanana, finally he replied, saying that Bhadrapada Shukla, that's a bright half of the month, Shuklapaksha, Bhadrapada Shukla Chathurthi. Okay, for only 1 day in the whole year, the moon should not be seen. And if anyone see him on that Bhadrapada Shukla Chaturthi day, then they will going to face all the problem. So whatever curse that the Gajanana has given that the moon should become invisible for the whole year now has been reduced to only one single day. So, after they had heard this speech, all the gods rejoiced, and having bowed, they said Om and cast down a shower of flowers. Having taken his leave, the gods immediately went to the moon and said to him, You were very stupid to ridicule Dviradhanana, because by offending that excellent god, you have plunged the triple world into danger. You committed an offense against the leader of the triple world, the God who regulates the threefold universe, who is eternal, who is without qualities, constant, the real appearance of whom is that of the Parabrahma, Gajanana, who is everybody's teacher. But with great difficulty, we have pleased the Lord, and seeking the good of all beings, he has set down this stipulation: you must never be seen on the fourth day of the bright fortnight of Bhadra. Means on the Bhadrapada Shukla Chathurthi, so it has been brought down to that single day. You too must go for refuge to Gajanana, O Gajanana, who is God of gods, but by his favor your body will be purified and you will achieve high fame. After Chandra, the moon, had heard the god's speech, he went for his own benefit to take refuge in that God who is loved by all those who come for refuge. Then to Gajanana, Lord of gods, who is respectfully prized by Shiva himself, he recited a superlative one syllable mantra which removes evil as taught by Indra. Moon performed with intense concentration a most severe austerity for 120 years on the southern bank of Ganga, where every success is given. So then Chandra took the Upadesha of that single syllable mantra from Indra, and he performed a severe austerity for 120 years on the southern bank of Ganga. After that, the illustrious Ganesha became pleased and came before him wearing red garlands and red clothes smeared with red sandalwood, having four arms huge in body, a body red with sindura. He was illuminating the worlds with his splendor, and splendor superior to that of myriad of suns. On seeing that mass of splendor, Moon shook terribly, but having firmly gathered courage, he clasped his hands in obeisance, and he pondered mentally on the subject of Viradanana. He bowed to him, thinking, he has come here to give me a boon. Then, with great devotion, he eulogized Gajanana, the god of gods. The moon god said, I bow to the god Viradanana, he who removes the obstacle for all people. He extends accomplishment in the law, power, and sensuosity for all. Obeisance to him, Vignaharta, obeisance to you, to the repository of compassion, O Brahma, O God, to the universal self, O God, who is dexterous in the universe, to the seed of the universe, to the one who is the universe himself, to the cause of destruction of the triple world, let there be obeisance to you, who is without desire, who is the three Vedas, who gives illumination to all, who is the light of intellect, who is overlord of the gods, who is constant, who is truth, who is everything else. This transgression was committed as an error of ignorance by me. Please pardon me, O bringer of compassion. Even for you, there is a great error in the abandonment of one who has come for refuge. So extend your sympathy to me. After he had heard this speech, Gajanana became very pleased, and in consequence of his eulogy, that God, who was completely gratified, gave him some boons, saying, you will become just as you appeared previously, because by that time the moon god has become dirty, colorless. So Gajanana told him, you will appear as you were previously, and any man who looks at you on the fourth day of the bright half of Bhadra will be immediately cursed as being stupid, and your stupidity will be gone, because your stupidity of laughing at me will now be passed on, and he will going to face all the evil act because of seeing you on the Bhadrapada Shukla Chathurthi. But when in conjunction with the gods, I declared that you are not to be seen on that particular day, when men undertake the vrata of the fourth day of the dark fortnight. But this is on the bright fortnight. Bhadrapada Shukla Chathurthi, he is not to be seen. But when people are doing the vrata on the dark fortnight, I must be worshipped when you arise. So that is the boon given to Chandra, boon given to moon by the Gajanana. You must be worshipped diligently, but if you are gazed upon intently at an unfavorable time, the vrata will be fruitless. The people should see the rise of the moon, and then they should worship the moon along with Gajanana on the Sankashta Chaturthi day, that is a Krishnapaksha Chaturthi day. The moon stand on my forehead in the form of a digit, because that will be pleasing to me, and on the second part of every month you will be worshipped. That is on the Krishna Paksha Chaturthi you will be worshipped along with me. When the moon gained this boon, he became just as he was previously, and with the gods he erected the image of the boon giver. The gods and sages gave it the name moon on his forehead, Chandra. He then constructed a temple of gold adorned with jewels and respectfully worshipped it with the 16 forms of ritual practices. And when he had finished worshipping the gods, the sages gave him boons, saying, "This will become famous in the world as the sacred place of perfection. And for those who undertake religious duties there, it will bring about absolute success." Then, after the gods and sages had bowed to Dviradanana, they went to their homes filled with joy and pleased in mind. After the gods and sages had gone, the god Ganesha concealed his own body, and when he now called moon on his forehead had disappeared, moon became almost ecstatic, and having been restored to his previous condition, he then returned to his own home. Thus ends the 62nd chapter of the Upasana Khanda of the glorious Ganesha Purana, in which we have heard the connection between Gajanana and the moon. Incidentally, on one day in the Kailasa, when Narada gave a fruit to Shiva, Shiva is in the dilemma to whom the fruit to be given, because he had two sons playing around him, Ganesha and the Skanda. When he asked Brahma for a suggestion, Brahma told that the fruit can be given to the younger among them, who happens to be Skanda. Because Brahma favored Skanda, Gajanana became angry. Both are kids, both are children, and they are playing around in the form of two kids. So naturally, Gajanana became angry, and he took a very weird form and tried to terrorize Brahma. And seeing him in that wicked form, Moon laughed at him. And at that point, Gajanana became angry and he cursed the moon, saying that whoever will see the moon will get that evil, and they will get all the problems in their life, and they'll be unnecessarily being suspicious to be considered as a thief. So such is the curse given by the Lord Gajanana. And then the gods mediated with Gajanana and brought down the curse from the whole year to a single day, so that even today people do not look at the moon on the Bhadrapada Shukla Chathurthi when people perform the Ganesha Habba or the Vinayaka Chaturthi. So on that day, people don't look at the moon. There are a lot of stories connected with that. Even Krishna, who inadvertently, by mistake, he saw moon on that Bhadrapada Shukla Chaturthi, and because of that reason, he faced lot of complaints against him. Lot of way the Yadavas became suspicious about Krishna just because he saw moon on that particular day. But on the other side, since later the moon did the austerity, did the penance to please the god Gajanana, then he blessed him, saying that on the dark side, that is on the Krishnapaksha Chathurthi, when people are performing the Sankashta Chaturthi Vrata, on that day they should first see the rise of the moon, and only then they should worship Gajanana along with the moon, and only after the rise of the moon they should take their food, and they should remain fasting till that particular point of time. And such is the boon given to Chandra by the Lord Gajanana. Namaste Sharada Devi Kashmir Puravasini Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidyadanancha Dehime. Goodbye.